Hi there everyone, your Pyral here with some more of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Last episode, we finished exploring the rest of Hyrule Castle, and now here we are at the end. All that's left for us to do is to confront Ganondorf behind this door. He's been the one pulling the strings behind everything, even Zant. So there's a lot at stake here. It's weird being here. The last time we saw this area, this leads straight to the throne room, it was during a cutscene when we first were introduced to Princess Zelda. But now we get to be here for ourselves. Not how I was expecting it, because if you remember, our journey started off with us we were supposed to deliver a sword to Princess Zelda. And I don't know. It's just funny that I would imagine us bringing the sword to Princess Zelda would take us to the throne room if things went as planned, but obviously that didn't happen, and we're here under different circumstances. But either way, this whole adventure has been leading up to this moment. So, let's go in. Welcome to my castle. So you're Ganondorf. I've been dying to meet you. Your people have long amused me, Midna. To defy the gods with such petty magic, only to be cast aside. How very pathetic. Pathetic as they were, though they served me well. Their anguish was my nourishment. Their hatred bled across the void and awakened me. I drew deep of it and grew strong again. Your people had some skill, to be sure, but they lacked true power. The kind of absolute power that those chosen by the gods wield. He who wields such power would make a suitable king for this world, don't you think? Ha, such conceit. But if you're one of the chosen wielders of power as you claim, I will risk everything to deny you. Shadow has been moved by light, it seems. How amusing. Very well. Deny me then. Yes. Try to deny me. You and your little friend. both of you, faithless fools who would dare to take up arms against the King of Light and Shadow. So you choose, and so you shall feel my wrath. And so begins the first phase of the final boss fight against Ganon's puppet Zelda. Yep, Ganondorf has possessed Princess Zelda, and we're without Midna for this fight. So the strategy for this fight, Ganondorf is going to be possessing Zelda and having her float. But once he does this attack, you can swing it back at him by just swinging your sword. And eventually, it will get faster, but do this enough, and come on. There we go. We can't hit Zelda in any other way, so we're just gonna have to dodge Ganondorf / Zelda's attacks until that energy attack comes in. Okay then. That's one of the attacks that you want to watch out for. Pretty easy to dodge. Just have your shield raised up, keep yourself targeted onto... I want to say Zelda, I want to say Ganondorf, but yeah. Now that attack where he makes a triangle of light appear, you're definitely going to want to roll out of that. That's probably the fastest way to avoid getting hit by that. But this phase is pretty easy. Okay, I was a little bit worried that I was going to get hit there. But once you have the timing down, it's pretty easy. Come on. Now, I believe if you have an empty bottle, you could actually just swing your empty bottle and just bounce back the energy ball that way. But none of my bottles are empty, and I don't want to empty any of them. Oop, careful there. I mean, that's a tradition, though. Usually with final bosses or just really climactic bosses, there's gonna be that round of... I think fans call it Dead Man's Volley, where you just swing the energy ball back and forth. And you can usually, like in other Zelda games, hit the energy ball back with things like bottles, nets. So, yeah. Anyways, got another round of this. If you try to use a spin attack, I think it makes the energy ball go faster, but that could be used against you because it's going faster and you might not be used to that timing, so I'm not going to try doing that at all. But we should be done. Any minute now. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. The next phase of this boss fight is going to have us facing off against Ganondorf's pig form that has been seen in various other games in the Zelda series, although it differs in appearance depending on the game. Here, we can actually fight back as Wolf Link, so we're fighting beast to beast, which is actually really, really cool. So you want to just toss him to the side there when he charges at you, and then hit this glowing mark, which is Ganon's weak spot. That mark is from the time that he was supposed to be sentenced to his death, but survived because the Triforce of Power decided to reside in him due to split timeline shenanigans. Anyways, he's gonna warp, and he's gonna show up out of the blue portal, so you want to be patient for that. And there's various pots here that you can use for healing. They'll have hearts. I think one of them will actually have a fairy. But as you can see, he is destroying this place. So he's gonna warp. He's gonna continue to do so. And he can actually drop down on you, so you want to pay attention to the shadow that shows up on the floor. Now, you can... Ooh! Whoops, let go of the A button a bit too early there. Now, you can also use your arrow to hit the little jewel that's on Ganon's head. But if you do that enough, it's going to come to a point where he will dodge those. So fighting as Wolfling is recommended. Oh, I see a fairy down there. Okay, throw you. And there we go. If I remember correctly, this is, I think, the first time Ganon has been seen more beast-like, because usually in Ganon's past appearances, he has been shown to stand on his hind legs. But here, I guess they're emphasizing the fact that he's more beast-like. But I do like how you are fighting as Wolfling. So Wolfling gets a time to shine during this. Are we done? Nope. Gotta do this a few more times. Okay, come on. Oh, there you are. Nope, not that one. Oh, there you are. Let's throw you to the right. Doesn't really matter which direction you throw him in. And that's gotta hurt, just having essentially like this radioactive scar just being bitten at. Looks like it would hurt. No, where are you? Oh. Just gonna continue to warp. Oh! Okay, so things are getting a little bit tougher now, because he's just warping and not giving us any chance to prepare. Okay, there you are. And just toss you aside again. I think this is the last cycle for us. Yes! Princess, I... Say nothing, Midna. Your heart and mind were as one, however briefly. Such suffering you have endured. Spirits of the light, wielders of the great power that shines far and wide upon the lands of our world. In my hour of need, grant me the light to banish evil. Link. Chosen hero. Lend us the last of your power. I'll try to slow Ganondorf with my light arrows. You target him and keep him within range of my arrows. Onwards to phase 3. It's a battle on horseback. So we're just having the entire gang here. Now Ganondorf on his horse will move pretty fast and he'll summon these spirits. I don't think the game will outright say it, but I think those are supposed to be... Phantom Ganons. Again, the game won't say it or anything like that, but that's my personal theory. Anyways, you want to avoid getting hit. I've already gotten hit twice here. And you want to keep yourself targeted onto Ganondorf. Whenever he has that ball of energy, that's when he summons his little spirits. His Phantom Ganons, as I'm going to call them. So you want to avoid getting hit by those because they'll just knock you off the horse and make things a lot more difficult. But what you want to do is just not get hit. I am doing really, really badly on this. Where are you? Where are you, Ganondorf? Oh. Hello. Stop hitting me. So, chase after him. Not have him hit you. And when you're locked on... Come on. When you are locked on, Zelda will take aim and shoot him with a light arrow. And from there, you can hit Ganondorf with your sword. I said hit him with your sword. Just like that. This is a little bit difficult just because of how fast everything is moving, but you should be fine. I'm just trying to avoid getting hit here, because he's just whacking me with his sword. But I do really, really like this phase because this is the first time that Ganondorf has been shown riding his horse and you actually get to fight him. It's really cool. Okay, there we go. We hit him again. I think we just need to hit him one more time. Come on. Don't hit me. I don't appreciate that at all, sir. Oh, hello. Please, you're scaring me, sir. Oh, come off it. You're a jerk. You know that? Hey, you're probably behind me. Yes, you are. Oh, you missed. Aha! Perfect, now's my chance. Come on, Zelda. Hit him. There we go. And let's hit him one more time. An impressive looking blade, but nothing more. Would you hear my desire to take this foul blade and use it to blot out the light forever? And now, we have a one-on-one sword duel with Ganondorf himself. No Midna to help, no Zelda either. Just us and our sword skills. Now here, he's gonna start things off with a sword clash. You wanna rapidly press A and overpower him somehow. The faster you press A, the easier it is. And then that'll leave him open. I don't know how you can overpower Ganondorf considering he has the Triforce of Power and he should be super strong. But oh well. None of your other items will work in this boss fight. Except for one. If you use the fishing rod, that's going to distract him. For a little bit. He'll stare at it, and it leaves him open. Kind of. I think it's funny that the fishing rod works. And it makes sense because Ganondorf is from a desert where there would be no water, so... or very little water, so he wouldn't be used to seeing a fishing rod at all. Anyways, this sword clash is probably the easiest way to damage Ganondorf. You can use other sword techniques like the back slice. I don't think the helm splitter will work. It's just gonna kick your shield, which is pretty disrespectful. He can combo you like that. He has some pretty impressive attacks here. Oh, hello, fairy. Sure, I'll take you. I think that's the only fairy in this area. Okay, I didn't take any damage there. Just gonna wait for another sword clash. I really, really like how you just get to fight Ganondorf one-on-one like this. Just use all of your sword skills necessary to win. If you didn't learn any of the other hidden skills, then... like the back slice, then it might... oh. Then you might have a little bit of trouble here. But... you should be fine. Come on. There we go. Come on. Are you gonna charge at me? And it's the easiest way for him to damage you, even without any, like, any of the other hidden skills. As long as you wait for that opportunity, then you'll have a chance to hurt him. Gonna charge at me? No? I guess I'll do it myself. Or not. That didn't work. Also, the music is really, really good. For all of the fights against Ganondorf, like, every phase has really, really good music. This is good. Am I good to go? There we go. Just hit him, knock him down, and it's time to finish him off. Do not think this ends here. The history of Light and Shadow will be written in blood. What? Say something. Am I so beautiful that you've no words left? And that is The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess HD. A really, really fun game. I love this game a lot. And I know some people will say that this is just Ocarina of Time with another coat of paint, just because a lot of like the story beats are really similar. Like, oh, Zora's domain is frozen and all that stuff. And some other shenanigans, but I still really, really like this game. Just exploring Hyrule with Midna, who is such a good character. The combat is really good. There's a lot of really fun items in this game as well. I just think it's a really, really good Zelda game. It's not my exact favorite Zelda game, but it is up there. I'd say it's probably maybe in my top 5. And I really like this credit sequence just because it gives us a look back at a lot of the previous areas that we've been to. But yeah, this game was really, really fun to do a Let's Play of. Being able to get everything. This was my first time getting like all the Miiverse stamps, for example. It's fun. Also, right there's King Bulblin being followed by some of his cohorts. Wonder what he is gonna do now that he's no longer serving Ganondorf or Zant. Is he just gonna like show up to talk to Link? Because he serves the strongest and he thinks Link is the strongest. I don't know. But I also like this scene here where it shows the kids finally ready to go back to Ordon Village. Now here, I wish you could do more sumo stuff with the Gorons. But really, once you're done with the Goron Mines, that's really it. Like, the last time you do sumo is right before you enter the Goron Mine, so I think that was a missed opportunity. But, oh well. And there's all these soldiers here. The doctor, he still needs to pay off his tab of like a bajillion rupees. But Telma's bar has a lot of interesting characters. Like her friends were neat, especially the fact that Russell is a part of it too. I like Russell as a character. And Castletown. Just all of these nice locales here. Everyone is celebrating by doing the Malomart dance. I like to imagine that he has complete control over Castletown now. And look at that, there's Colin with a sword and shield of his own. He's one step closer to becoming a more courageous person. He's taking after Link in that regard. Now, it is a shame that Prince Rallis doesn't get to be with his mother, but she is watching over him, which is heartwarming. Gosh, I love this credit sequence. This game is just fun in general. Or, I never noticed that in this credits. There's the two brothers with the cannons just flying down. That's neat. I would never do that in real life. Just latch onto a chicken and just glide down. I don't even think a chicken could, like, glide down like a cuckoo. But, who knows? Now, one of these days, I think I want to try doing hero mode with, like, a Ganondorf amiibo, because that will make it so every hit will basically kill you. But, maybe later on in the future. And we have the siblings there from... like, we've seen them, like, all individually, but never together. Snow Peak. It's a really nice area. Not my favorite area, just because I'm not really the biggest fan of snow, but... it's fun. And, Yeto and Yetta are having some fun there. And of course, the Temple of Time. We get to see Aru, Ashe, and Shad just researching this place, I guess? I mean, it is full of history. No, and the kids are back in Ordon Village now. It's been a while since they've been home, but their families must be looking forward to it. They must be looking forward to it. Just to get back to their lives. And Russell's wife finally had her baby. Gosh, this is just really heartwarming, just seeing everyone back in Ordon Village. Those kids experienced a lot. And here's the Gerudo Desert. Really, really big place, though I do wish there was more to see here. Well, I guess this is farewell, huh? Light and shadow can't mix, as we all know. But never forget that there's another world bound to this one. Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. I know now the reason the goddesses left the Mirror of Twilight in this world. They left it because it was their design that we should meet. Yes, that is what I believe. Zelda, your words are kind, and your heart is true. If all in Hyrule are like you, then maybe you'll do alright. Thank you. Well, the princess spoke truly. As long as that mirror is around, we can meet again. Link. See you later. Thank you all so much for watching this Let's Play. Now I've gone over my thoughts on the game, but the Let's Play itself is really, really nice to revisit this game. And I hope that my enjoyment was apparent. This game was a ton of fun. I have a lot of history with this game, I guess. But I feel like this Let's Play was probably the best I could make it, in my opinion. And I'm really proud of how it turned out. It was a ton of fun to make, and I think the way I handled each episode was done to the best of my ability as well. And I don't know, it was just a really, really fun project overall. Like I said, I have a history with this game, and it's always fun to revisit it. And next time I do, it'll be just as fun. But there's really nothing left for me to show off in this game, so Again, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play. It was fun. It's a ton of fun. Didn't take like forever to finish or anything like that. No recording shenanigans happened. So that made this a lot more easier than past experiences have been, but either way, that's it. The game is over. And just like with nearly every other Zelda game, it's time to lay the Master Sword to rest back on its pedestal. And get ready for a new adventure.